And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Search Protector Podcast, 6040 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I am Alex Midway, and welcome back. There's been a bunch of new late-breaking things, and keeping with the way that I feel after the Bills lost, the whole world's also going to the toilet too.
Yeah, it was a tough watch last night. Great game, tough loss, but it was nice to watch somebody else's O-line absolutely S the bed
Which
for
is
a 7-sack game. I thought that only happened with Geno Smith, but I'm glad you were able to share in my pain.
8.
Oh, never mind. Must have missed one at the end.
Yeah. So did the O-line.
Yeah, holy smokes. I have not watched a lot of Texans football this year, but my God, man.
Yeah. Those guys definitely came to play.
Can't wait to see the results of all those drug tests.
So we'll see what happens. Let's get to the whole thing where we're here for. Nobody cares about our football teams. Well, other than beautiful people of Las Vegas and the wonderful people of Buffalo. But the president's out there calling for sitting members of Congress to die. And we have a whole lot of things to unpack today. But I think we need to start off with a little bit of short selling. You and I talked about it, and I kind of just vomited from my mouth last time we brought this up.
All right, yeah. We're going to clarify a little bit on some money stuff that I still probably won't understand.
Yeah, we're gonna do this a little bit differently. I'm first gonna explain how the stock market goes, then we're gonna go hit the old Tesla ticker, and I'm gonna just confuse the F out of you again. But let's start out with the good stuff.
Alrighty.
So we're gonna start off on a good note. You currently have $1,100 in your trading account, and you're out there. You're ready to make a couple bucks. So you find yourself a stock that's $100. And you buy yourself, you find yourself a stock, it's $10, and you buy 100 shares. So that's going to cost you $1,000. So what you essentially are doing, you're kind of buying it from a brokerage. You're buying the stock, you're immediately selling it. And then at a later time, you have to pay them, you have to give them back those 100 stocks. And your whole goal is that those stocks drop in price. You buy them back at a lower price, give them back the stocks, and that difference is yours. So again, you bought 100 stocks at $10. That's $1,000. You think it's going to go down to $5 a stock, which means you'll then be able to buy it for $500. When you sell it back, that's a net profit of $500 to you. Does that make sense so far?
No. If you buy stocks and then their value goes down, doesn't your money go down too?
No, because you essentially, let's say, I'm a brokerage. You got your $1,100 in the bank, and you think there's a stock that's going to go down. And I have this stock. Let's say it's called Besla. So you're like, you know what? This Besla is going to go down. So you essentially buy 100 of my Besla stocks, and you immediately sell them. So now you have that money in your account. But you are now on the hook for 100 stocks to give back to me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. This feels like that time you got me to invest in crypto. And at a certain point, I was like, I'm too dumb for this. If I just give you the money, will you leave me alone? And can we start talking about something else?
Try to teach it. From a long time ago, I learned that if you can't explain it to somebody like they're 5 years old, you technically don't know the subject yourself. So I'm trying to break it down body style for you and everybody else. So
well, right as now, 5-year-old, I appreciate it.
Well, a woman in the eyes of a GOP.
Yeah.
So right now, you've sold all that stuff. You technically still have your $1,100 in the bank because you just you borrowed the stock, you sold it right away, so you still have that money. But your goal is to essentially wait until that price drops, let's say $5, and then to buy the stock and then give it back to me. Well, technically, me as the brokerage right now, I'm kind of losing money. So the entire time after I loan you the stock, I charge you a small percentage. So your whole goal is you buy them when you think it's about to dip. So you don't hold on to it for long. Because if you hold on to it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, I'm still charging you a percentage during that time. So you don't want to wait too long.
Okay. All right. Making a little bit more sense now.
Yep. But let's say the stock at a certain point starts going up in price. Well, if it's going up in price, that's not going against you. Since you have $1,100 in the bank, If that stock jumps to, let's say, $11, that's an extra $100. Now you're going to get a call from him that says, hey man, it's going to be something called a margin call. They're going to say either put more money in your bank account so you can cover this, or we're going to close out your position and take all your cash back from you in addition to everything else. So you're kind of borrowing from me as a lender in the hopes that you can pay it back if the stock drops. If it doesn't drop, you lose a whole bunch of cash.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's essentially what short selling is.
Oh, also, 1,000% just sounds dirty and illegal.
Wow. Now we're getting to that. Let me take you to the next level of dirty and illegal and hit the Tesla ticker. 401 on Tuesday. It went up to about 426 on Thursday morning. And today we closed at 391. And honestly, I'm just finished with this whole thing. None of it makes sense. Like the story that I saw on there, it's like, hey, it's the AI. Like this is doing great. And the reason it went up to 426 is because of Nvidia stuff. And they're like, yeah, Nvidia went up and they reported sales of $57 billion instead of $55 billion. And that just means AI is not a bubble. Now, do you know the market value of Nvidia stock? Market cap?
Well, if they're making $57 billion in a quarter, I'm assuming it's something along the lines of, call it, carry the 4. Let's say 400 billion.
4.5 trillion, nearly.
Oh, okay, so I was close. How does that make sense? Can you explain that one to me?
No, and that's what I said. We're going to start out with the smart stuff, and I've actually grasped. But this stuff makes no sense. And like the articles that I'm reading is when they're saying the stock market's doing great, a bunch of it's essentially on the back of all these AI and all these stock that are theoretical. They're not really bringing in the numbers, but it's like what it can become. Like, okay, but what is it right now? You guys are just building data centers. Like, yeah, but one day it's going to be super awesome. Like, okay, well, explain why it's overvalued so much right now, and nobody can.
All right, so at the risk of sounding like a complete moron for our hundreds and hundreds of downloads, so like, all right, if you look at it like it's a tree, right? Nvidia, we're planting a sapling. All it really needs is sunlight and water. The tree is worthless. It's a stick in the ground. But I'm assuming they're valuing it because in 15 years, when it gets big enough to bear fruit, or 10 years, or however long it takes a tree to grow fruit, like all of a sudden, then it will become super profitable, and they're just banking on it being worth trillions in like 10 years.
Similar to that. But essentially, you right now went to the market and someone gave you a seed. Or, you know what? Magical beans. You just bought some magical beans. And one guy said that these bad boys are going to turn into an avocado plant. Well, avocado plants take about 15 years to go from seed to producing. And all this time, you're investing resources into it. You're raising market capital. But one day, you're going to have this avocado tree and all the freaking avocados you ever wanted to eat. So for now, you have magic beans, but you got to keep nurturing them for the prospect of possibly having avocados one day.
Does avocado really take like 15 years?
Yeah, if you ever seen those things where you shove a toothpick into it, like, oh, you can grow your own avocado tree from one avocado. Like, cool. You'll put it into that jar and everything else. It takes about 15 trees until you start producing your own avocados.
Oh, is that why guacamole is so expensive?
No, those are tariffs that Mexico pays.
Okay. All right, now we're back on page.
So the whole thing is insane. I mean, there's one guy out there, he's saying like, oh, this validates Nvidia 100%, everything's great. And Elon Musk is out there also pushing the whole AI thing. He's like, oh, well, with AI in about 10 to 20 years, money's going to be a concept. Like, cool. That's why you requested $1 trillion pay package just to clock into work, but money's going to be just a concept? Like, work for free then, dummy.
Yeah, I don't know. None of this smells right to me.
No, but the financial situation is effed, and now we're going to get him a Ukraine update, and just to warn everybody, I'm going to rant and rave about this for a hot minute, so apologies in advance, but this is something that's close to me, to my heart. But did you see the video about JD Vance talking about the peace between Russia and Ukraine?
No, I've been on a blackout for sobriety blackout since that Raiders game's Monday.
Fair enough. I'm going to get into a blackout as soon as I'm done here. The opposite of sobriety. Like, he's out there and it shows him sitting down. And he's like, yeah, the whole thing about Russia and Ukraine, like, why don't they just hang out? Like, why don't they do business together? Like, why don't they just visit each other? Honestly, I want to talk to the Ohio school system, the Yale departments, and specifically, like, the history department at all these institutions. Like, have you guys not talked to JD about this? Like, does he not know, like, this was a thing before?
Is that like verbatim? That's what he said? Why don't you guys just hang out?
Yeah, why don't they hang out together? Why don't they just see each other's cultures and just have a conversation? I'll send you the thing.
All right, pin in that for 1 second. Now, when I told you about my political aspirations, and my whole pitch would be just telling everybody, just be cool, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You said I was an idiot, but I could clearly be a vice president at this point.
I mean, I used to take dumps all over Bushy, like, that guy's an idiot, but that guy's also U.S. president, so up is down and down is up, I guess.
World's our oyster. We just have to seize that pearl.
Jesus Christ.
Yikes.
But if you thought that was dumb, today, yesterday technically came out about the whole Russia and the Russia-Ukraine war and the peace deal that's being proposed by, well, the U.S. and Russia. It was drawn up by them. Europe knows nothing about it. And essentially, they just passed it down. And some of the things in the whole thing, the package, like, it sounds weird in the English language, but if you translate it back to Russian, like, it sounds perfectly normal. Like, this thing was written in Russian and then presented to Americans, and they went ahead and just changed the language, just typed it into Google Translate, couldn't even get a native speaker to translate it. And they're like, okay, Ukraine, you gotta chew on this, and this is what we gotta do.
Well, it's good to know that while it might not make sense in in English, it translates perfectly in Russian. That should be all that you really need to know about this. But please delve in farther.
It definitely appeals to the Russians because they get everything they've ever asked for. They get Luhansk and Donetsk, the entire Donbass region. Down below in Zaporozhye and Kherson, they're going to go ahead and freeze the lines down there. And up above in the Donbass, like, Ukraine still controls about 15% of it. But they're like, yeah, you guys have to leave that 15%. We get that one too. So go ahead and pass it off to us. Like, and on top of that, Russia's like, hey man, just to make sure you guys don't get froggy in the future, I'm going to need you to go ahead and reduce your army by 60%. And go ahead and get rid of those long-range weapons, and also no NATO troops are allowed to be in Ukraine. Like, what the F? Like, you guys invaded them. Like, why are they making concessions to you?
Because they have the video.
That golden toilet thing in Moscow is working out great. You know there's going to be talk about all kinds of Trump resorts going up in Moscow within 3 months of this. And, like, he went from paper tiger, be like, you guys are off to be what? Like, yeah, I'll get him to do anything.
Well, yikes. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a great deal, but if I've learned anything about the president of peace, ceasefires have about a 4-hour-ish lifespan, so you know what? Maybe it's not worth getting upset about.
Dude, just before we came on, like, I looked online and apparently Israel is just shelling Gaza again. Like, oh yeah, the ceasefire, like, go F yourselves. Like, we're gonna kill a couple kids today. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, we own the US president.
Yeah, that ceasefire, like, I've had I've had Tinder dates that lasted longer than that ceasefire.
Like, it's wild. I mean, none of it makes sense, but let's stick to what we know. I mean, we have a lot of things to talk about. We ain't got the time for it. But some of the things on here, and which will guarantee that this thing was translated from Russian, is some of the stuff that they're asking. Like, one of the talking points on there, there's punishments for Ukraine if they attack Russia. I'm like, okay, that would be a first. Or if Ukraine launches a missile at Russia, like, what about the other way around? Like, nothing. We're good. Like, there's also, like, it says, like, Ukraine will be tolerant on religion and get rid of Nazi ideology. Like, wait, what the hell? Like, that's not a thing. And, like, they also say that both countries will allow Russian and Ukrainian media. Like, I hate to break it to you, there's not too many Ukrainian news stations in Russia. Like, they're all sponsored by the state, and you're never going to get Ukrainian TV in Russia. But they want to put Russian TV in Ukraine, and the whole thing is, the one thing that really drives it on home is they're like, yeah, man, at the end of the day, everyone who was in this war is going to get amnesty. Like, wait a second. It's like Bill Cosby coming out and be like, okay, guys, you can't sue me for any kind of raping, but on the same page, I also can't sue you for raping you. Like, we never raped you. Like, yeah, but like, just so it's fair, like, I can't sue you either. Like, what the F? Like, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, that like I said, the best case scenario is like anything else with this administration, there's no way it goes anywhere for more than a couple hours.
Well, the administration also, what is like, just like the mob is like, hey man, I want a little bit of a kickback. I need to get my beak wet. So like one of the lines in there is line number 14 is 100 billion in frozen assets are going to get unfrozen and invested in Ukraine. And it's very vague about that, but the one thing it's not vague about, it says like 50% of the profits go back to the states. Like, and I'm guessing it's in the form of crypto from the Trump coin. Like, this is nuts. Like, wait, this is now a business proposition? Like, I thought we were rebuilding a place.
Then you weren't paying attention.
No. Let me go ahead and just some of the other things that popped out from here. And I urge everyone to read the whole proposal, but I just want to hit a couple of the greatest hits. Like number 15, a joint American-Russian working group on security issues will be established to promote and ensure compliance with all provisions of this agreement. That's insane. Like the fact that like I get an American working group on security issues, but like American and Russian, like the guys who invaded, that's like having the Germans oversee Europe circa 1949 after World War II ended. Like, yeah, we'll make sure they all rebuild properly. Like, you guys just destroyed the place. Like, that means we know the places we destroyed and we're in the best position to fix it.
Well, I mean, this same administration that was like, we understand that you think you may be viewing things as a conflict of interest, but we trust ourselves.
Like, you have facts, we have alternative facts. Like, Jesus, guys don't even try anymore.
Go get your chainsaw, Elon. We trust you.
Well, speaking of chainsaws and the opposite of chainsaw, one way that they guarantee that this will never happen again is Article number 16. Russia will enshrine in law its policy of non-aggression towards Europe and Ukraine. Like honestly, they could have just let off with that one. That's the first thing on it. Like, listen, we're going to put something on paper that says we're not going to invade. Like, oh, okay, well, thank God we didn't do this earlier.
Yeah, if there's one thing we can trust with these people, it's paper. Writing it down on paper makes it real.
Like, at least make them write it down 50 times on a chalkboard so it might register, but like, yeah, we'll write it down one time somewhere, and then they're going to be like, oh no, like, there's more Nazis in Ukraine. Like, who? Like, the president's Jewish.
Excuse me, Mr. Dictator with a God complex. I actually have a notarized letter saying you weren't going. Oh, the elevator shaft's right this way. You got it, pal.
Like, oh no, why am I stabbing myself in the back repeatedly and shoot myself in the head while jumping out of his window? Weird. Like, the last thing on here is 27, and anytime you want to get Donald to jump up, like, you just mentioned his name. Kind of like the same thing Pulte did. 27 says this agreement will be legally binding. Like, oh, thank God it'll be legally binding. Can't go around that one. It's essentially a handshake right there. Its implementation will be monitored and guaranteed by the Peace Council, headed by President Donald J. Trump. Sanctions will be imposed for violations. And one of the craziest things in 27 is that Peace Council is still going to be ran by Donald J. Trump, even if he ever leaves office. Like, he could be a private citizen and dictating policy down there still. Like, It is insane.
It doesn't sound like anything could possibly go wrong there.
No.
If
Like,
there's anybody who holds the law sacred,
yeah.
it's dictators with God complexes and Donald John Trump.
Justice Trump. That's what the J stands for. And
Yeah, my
like,
mistake.
we got a freaking felon in charge of like European policy while he's saying he's going to leave Europe and NATO, leave him unprotected, and just sell anything that he wants to anyone of a high speed. Like, okay, I gotta slow my roll. Again, I said I can rail about this thing for God knows how long.
I can actually see he's starting to get a little red and
Yeah, yeah.
getting
No,
fired up. I like it.
it's tough, man. Like, I came from there. Like, the stuff that they're asking for, like, it's places where I've been, places I've grown up, and like I see the pictures of it. It's all bombed the f out. You got a guy who's taking turns between screwing America and maybe screwing somewhere else. And honestly, if you're a red-blooded American, like, you have that "Don't tread on me" sign, but you really didn't follow it when they started getting rid of people who are legally in this country. Like, well, that's fine. It's not happening to me. Like, how can you be for this? Like, be like, yeah, you guys have to do all this. Like, you got invaded, and instead of being helped out, like, go F yourselves and give up more land. Like, none of this makes any sense. And I hope Zelensky doesn't take it. And honestly, I don't see the whole point between them taking it. Like, Europe's already stepped up. It's not like Russia's doing anything. They've stopped even sharing intel with them. Or
Yeah.
America. It's not
Yeah,
really.
and thank God Europe at least seems to have the spine where they're like, no, we're look how and you know what? That might be self-preservation, like just by proximity. Like we're like I said, like I've always said, like Hitler famously stopped in Poland, right?
Like, the whole thing is, like, yeah, it's when you guys disarm, make sure you have less troops there. No one from NATO is there, and you guys can't hit us back. And we promise we're never doing this again. Like, no, dude, he's coming back.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no way Zelensky goes for any of this, and thank God at least he still has allies in Europe.
I never thought I'd be such a big fan of a French.
Yeah, when did they get balls?
Like, freedom
when
fries.
did we lose ours, and all of a sudden the French are the ones with their chest out?
Yeah, the switch is insane, man.
I'd like to thank Donald Justice Trump, for ruining every French joke I've ever had.
Might give us a reason to go fly over there. So if we are flying, any news there?
Yeah, so as we know, it's right about that time. Holiday season officially kicking off today, and as you can guess, airports are going to be a nightmare. They are a nightmare this time of year when things run well, and well, frankly, they're not. They're still playing catch up after the longest government shutdown in history. Plus, a huge influx of travelers is going to equal a good old-fashioned hot mess. Between crowded terminals, long security lines, delays and cancellations, tensions are going to run at a fever pitch. So I ask, what can you do to make a bad situation better? Should you arrive 3 hours before your flight instead of 2? Nah. Downsize all your travel necessities until they conveniently fit into a carry-on? Maybe. Bring back Mayor Pete. That would solve some stuff. And while these are all great tips, Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, who we will just, for convenience sake, call Tranny Boss, has a better idea. Just wear a suit.
Yeah, because you know what really speeds up the TSA lines? Is when you slip it out of your flip-flops versus when you got those wingtips on and you got to take off all your cufflinks. Like, that's the dumbest policy ever.
So again, I've been on blackout. I've had a lot going on. I don't really feel like delving into the news. Then this popped up and I said, there's no effing way. There's no effing way. This was his trick around holiday travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I clicked the button and down the rabbit hole I went. Tranny boss Sean Duffy introduced the new campaign tagline, "The Golden Age of Travel Starts With You," which is designed to bring back civility and manners when we travel. And look, I get it. You and your buddies have made air travel brutal again. MABA. Between shutdowns, firing air traffic controllers because they're not white, making plane crashes a thing again, yada, yada, yada. But to tell Americans it's your fault because you aren't wearing a suit is wild.
It's like when you go down to like the grocery store and they don't have enough clerks in there because they keep shutting it, like paying people sub minimum wage. And they're like, hey man, why don't you guys go check yourselves out at this point? Like, it's the same thing. Like, hey, why don't you help load the bags at this point? Like, half of you gets on the plane, gets into the seats, and the other helps the ground crew.
Yeah, it's but the key is the suit. You have to wear a suit, which is stupid. And I'll delve into that. So they put out a campaign video, right? Blew me away. If you haven't seen it yet, it opens with footage from, I'm guessing, around the 1950s. A lot of men wearing suits, boarding a plane with fedoras and stuff, with like that WandaVision music, like you get it, Leave It to Beaver, playing in the background. Then all of a sudden, the music turns dark and scary, which they normally only use in their commercials about being afraid of brown people. And what I can only assume is the World Star Spirit Airlines compilation video of just white trash going ape on a plane, fighting, brawling, screaming. Not on there, Burger King guy.
Yeah. We're going back to segregated bathrooms but on airplanes, right? Like, this is what they're aiming for.
Buddy, if they didn't consider water fountain socialism, we would already have white and other. This administration sucks.
Your kind goes through the baggage claim. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, I bought the same plane ticket. Like, not this door.
Yeah. All right. So it made me do a little bit of thinking, right? And I get the idea, I guess, where they're going with it, where, back in the heyday, people used to dress up to get on a plane. You'd put on your Sunday best. But also there was like 10,000 flights in the 50s, like a year, right? It was only for the elites. So of course they're wearing suits. They're rich. Also, the seats were way bigger back then. They had way more leg room. And airports or airlines would give you a complimentary 4-pack of cigarettes because you could smoke on the plane. And honestly, I kind of wish we went back to it, but that's really neither here nor there. Have you ever seen? I saw somebody post a picture of 4-packs that, like, I guess their grandfather kept.
Yeah,
Like
it's actually.
it's like Delta Airlines Winston cigarette 4-pack.
Yeah, it's the actual airline brand and everything else. And the one thing that's on here, we're going back to that time. I want to be able to make 6 digits selling vacuum cleaners door to door, because that's what these guys rolled on. Like, you come out of high school and you get the job at, like, the Homer Simpson job at the nuclear plant, and then I can support 3 kids, buy a house, and multiple cars. Like, I want to go back to that time if you guys want to make it great again. Like, I'm selling vacuums and I'm making 6 digits.
Yeah. Where your annual income is right around $17,000. Your wife doesn't have to work. You have 100 children, and just everything works because houses you could buy for chicken bones and buttons and stuff.
Like, we're not talking about 50-year effing mortgages. Like, I have multiple cars. My wood panel station wagon, like, gas is 72 cents a gallon. Like, it's great.
Yeah. There was no leaded or unleaded. There was just one.
It's giving you cancer. Like, well, we don't know what cancer is yet, so you technically don't get it.
Yeah, so I get how they're going with that. The problem is this isn't 1950 anymore, okay? There are, I think I Googled it, there's something like 47,000 flights a week or something like that in the continental. Like, of course, airlines took away all the big comfy seats and all the leg room so they could add more seats for more passengers so you can pack people in like cattle. Sorry. This was my moment to start getting hot. I'm
That's
feeling a
your
little
hill to
red.
die on. Travel.
Had to take a deep breath there. All right. So they shrunk everything to pack more people in because it's a business and it's not just for elites anymore. Daily flights multiplied, exponentially. And don't even consider firing up a cigarette unless you are 100 feet away from the airport property line. It's impossible. Flying isn't elite anymore when any a-hole in the world can fly to Jacksonville for $100.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're trying to bring it back to the whole time, and it's like, a suit's not going to work. How about you just stop, like, hire the proper people to man all these booths that you got rid of? Like, the whole Doge thing, when they came out and, like, what how much did those save? Like, oh, it's apparently $2 billion, but it cost us $156 billion to play red light, green light with all the people there. Like, you guys don't have the effing solutions. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, but he's a businessman. Like, who bankrupts casinos?
Yeah. Now, I want you to take the air travel thing about the ridiculousness of wear a suit to a crowded airport, okay, and then put that in a different light, right? Now, back in the 50s, cars were still a pretty big deal luxury item, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you same way. Sunday, I'm gonna get all gussied up in my best three-piece suit and go take a Sunday drive. Well, there wasn't traffic because there weren't that many cars. There wasn't congestion because, again, there weren't that many cars. Then, once they became more affordable, now we have a traffic light every 200 feet. You know, I spend an hour commuting each way 5 days a week. If I had to do that in a suit, I would put a gun in my mouth. I mean, it would just be cherry pie on my standard, headliner that's not even Corinthian leather.
Well, you say that right now, speaking as a poor person who doesn't wear a suit. Have you considered smoking cigarettes with the windows rolled up, throwing like punches at your wife sitting next to you, and yelling at your kids in the back seat without seatbelts?
Yeah, I have never tried this while smoking with the windows up, while screaming at my wife and beating my children with a belt because that's what the Lord told me to do, or
Beat your
whatever
wife,
time.
scream at the kids. It's interchangeable.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's one thing I know about the 50s, everybody was getting beat.
They're all walking to the doorknobs.
Unless you are a rich white man of class and prominence.
If you're a landowner, nothing's changed for you.
Yeah, the rest of you poors, though. So yeah, that was my thing. I feel like I say this every week, but now I think Sean Duffy might be the dumbest person in this administration, and I can't wait for Kristi Noem to prove me wrong next week.
Buddy, I was gonna say that is a revolving door. Like someone else is gonna rise in those power rankings, and they're gonna take that number one torch real quick.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of some re-listening, which I ask all my listeners to do. And I think for about 8 weeks straight now, I've had a new dumbest person in the administration. So I think we're just going to start as a new ongoing bit.
Dummy at the top.
Yep.
Fair enough. We'll see who claims the mantle come Tuesday. I'm Alex Midway.
I'm Eric Halsey. Later, Gators.